Good morning. This is Debbie, and I'm going to show you how to make one of the cards with the new Berry Blessing stamp set. We're going to be using the Berry Blessing Designer Series paper. We're going to use the triple banner punch and the story label punch, and we're going to use the Granny Apple Green and the Pacific Point cardstock. I have already cut out all these pieces of paper, so it won't take all day long. I got a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock folded in half. This is the basic white for the card base. I have a piece cut at 4 by 5.25 of the Pacific Blue, Pacific Point. Oh. Pacific Point. I have a piece of the new Designer Series Berry Blessings paper cut at 3 3/4 by 5. I have a piece of Pacific Point cut at 3 1/4 by 2.5. I have a piece of basic white cut at 2 1/4 by 3. I have a scrap of the Granny Apple Green. I have a scrap of the Berry Blessings Designer Series paper, and I have a little punch from the story label punch. I've already cut these papers out so it won't take me so long. We are going to start stamping with our Berry Blessing stamp set, and these are so cute. I need a soft piece of foam to cut on. If you can buy this foam at the craft store, it's just regular fun foam, and it's 1/4 inch thick, and it works great because it's huge, and you've always got plenty of room to work. I'm going to take out my Stampin' Scrub. And I'm going to put that out, and I'm going to take out my Memento black ink. I'm going to take out my these new cases, new ink pads. Okay. I have an advanced case of carpal tunnel syndrome, and I'm waiting to get surgery, so excuse my fumbling. Okay, I'm going to take my little scrap here, and I'm going to stamp full strength with my Granny Apple Green. I love this stamp. It is so cute. I'm going to take my filler and this one I'm going to stamp off once with a piece of, and I'm going to line that up. Now, I'm not using Stampin' Up! Blocks, and I'm not using the, there's a lot of things Stampin' Up! I'm not using because I simply don't have them yet. But I'm working on it. I will have them eventually. Okay, now I'm going to take the Pacific Point in the berries, and I'm going to stamp off. I love the way these things line up. They're so stinking adorable. I'm going to hold it on there a minute, give it a good chance to transfer. A lot of times when you have problems, it's because you pull them off too fast and you just don't give it time to transfer. Now I put every one of these stamps. Oh, there it is. Got everything already, put them all in the bin and covered it up with a piece of paper and hid it from myself. Now full strength, I'm going to stamp the little outline. And that is way crookeds. But in the greater scheme of things, nobody's going to look at it that close, so we're going to go with it. I'm going to take my Designer Series paper, and I'm going to take my Memento black ink. I've tried this with the blue and it simply doesn't work, so we're going with the black. And I'm going to run this along that white edge. And this is one of the little sponges that we have. I cut it in quarters and I put it on a clothespin. It doesn't keep me from getting inky, but it helps. And I'm going to do that white edge. When you stamp that white edge, what it does is it helps to push it back into the paper. It looks more like it's part of the card. And I'm going to lightly do the edges. If you want to do it heavy, by all means go ahead, because I love heavy. But these I'm doing light. I want these to be kind of fresh looking. I'm going to, you know, I try so hard to prepare for these. And for one thing, I can't see very well right now because I have the lights turned off and the window open. My sister's convinced that I need to buy lights, and I am just not going to do that right now because it's not in my budget. And the idea behind this is not to spend a whole lot of money that I don't have. Okay. I'm going to get out my Tombow glue. And I saw this on France Martin. She had one of these and she put the lid in it to hold her glue upside down. And I thought, I've got that little tricycle. I'm going to do that. And I think he's just stinking adorable. Isn't that the cutest thing? I've had it for years and I've never known what to do with it, and there you go. Perfect. I'm going to put a tiny, I want you to look at that. You can't even see that glue, it's so tiny. You don't have to cover the entire back of your card in glue. You can, you know, if you're compulsive and you just absolutely love to waste glue, by all means go ahead. I'm not telling you not to, I'm just telling you. This is going to save your product, and you'll have more money to buy stamps from me. I don't believe in wasting stuff just because you have an abundance of it. But look at that. And when I cover the whole back with ink, then when it dries, your card buckles. And you got it just in one little corner, it doesn't buckle. And it has the added benefit that if I mess up, I can take my little spatula and I can slide it under that corner and I can lift that up without ripping it all to pieces. When you cover that whole back with with glue, and you try to take that paper up, you're going to shred both pieces of paper. I can slide this under there where I put that little dab of glue, and I can loosen it and I can move it. That's why I don't use a whole lot of glue. Now, I do not have my little flags. That was, okay, that's my bad. We're going to work with one little flag. I'm also going to ink this piece. I'm not going to ink that one in because it's going to be underneath. Let me get my triple banner punch. I love this punch. If you use, I think it's 1 inch. Let me look at my ruler real quick. If you use 1 inch, 1.5 or 2 inches, you can just slide that in there. And a lot of people tell you to flip it over. Oh, wait a minute. Just help unlock it. A lot of people tell you to flip it over and look, but if you slide that in those little channels, you don't have to look. It hits it perfect every time, see? So I don't really have to. Me and my Pacific Point scrap have parted companies. So I'm just going to put one little flag back here. Is he going to be as cute? Yeah, he'll be all right. I had put 3 flags on the original card, but my 2 little scraps have gotten away from me. So I'm going to put 2 little dots of glue on there. Now you can see that on that green. I did not put, and it looks like a lot more on there than is actually on there. And I'm going to put, these are just very tiny little minute dots because I mess up. I don't know about you, but I mess up all the time. And I like to be able to take that off and move it if I don't get it right first time. Because I can look at something and realize that I have messed up and it will drive me crazy. Let's see, what did I do? Oh, there they are. And I like the Stampin' Scrub better than I do that chamois. I have the chamois, and I don't use it. Everybody takes that chamois and they put it in an empty case, and what they're doing is they're basically making the Stampin' Scrub that we already have. And the chamois is to have something convenient to wipe off your Stamparatus. It was why that was made, which is what I use it for. I don't have a Stamparatus. I have 3 stamping I had 4. I gave one away. I have 3 stamping platforms. But I may get me a Stamparatus because I had bought all 3 of those stamping platforms for different reasons. The original one I had was the Memory Keepers, the one that they had to quit making because the other company got so nasty with them. We're not going to name names, but we all know who they are. And I like the little original one, but I have a lot of paper doll stamps from a competitor, and I love using those. And they're big stamps, and they just wouldn't fit on that little stamping platform. So I bought another competitor's large platform to do those with. And as much as I love that stamping platform, it's not very photopolymer friendly. I know you can turn the lid over and you can do rubber on one side, but there's this little ridge on it and it gets in the way. So I bought the other We Are Memory Keepers platform where it had the little holes and you can change it, but once again my paper dolls won't fit on that. So I am thinking very seriously about getting the Stamparatus. I have never actually seen one in person or handled it, but with all of the free stuff that I get from Stampin' Up! With classes and stuff, I might as well get it. And then I will just donate the ones I have, probably to my sister because she loves getting things like that. But I'll find somebody that wants them. And then I'm going to put some little dimensionals. Oh. Okay, hang on. I got ahead of myself. Oh, good. It didn't stick very good. I guess I should stamp that before I... my bad. Let's see. Where's my little stamp? Wishing you the very best. That is so cute. And so crooked. Let's try it on the other side. Let me get this down here. You may see my little white head. Perfect. Let me ink this side. Let's try that again. Okay. And you know, I thought this take your pick tool was going to be a problem because I never know which end, but you know what? It changes just that quick that I can use either side. And I like having this mat because I can just pick them little things up with that poker thing. Works great. Okay, let me get this over here. Wishing you the very best. Now, let's doctor up our card inside. I'm going to take, I'm going to ink this. I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put my little dot there and my little dot there, and I'm going to put one in the middle so he don't buckle. And I'm going to move this out of the way before I do something stupid. Ooh, I'll be glad to get me, this is why you want the nice thick blocks rather than the little skinny blocks, because you get ink all over your fingers, and in turn you get them all over your paper. I like the thicker blocks because it keeps me from making such a horrible mess. Now I'm going to take my berries, tap, tap, tap. I'm going to stamp off. Then y'all may see my head again because I want to line this up better than I did on the front. I'm going to hold this down for a minute because I've got that piece of paper there, so it's going to want to... Perfect! Okay. I've got my little inside. Now, where's my little greeting? I'm going to make sure I've got this right side up and not upside down. And right down here, you always have a way of making my day. Isn't that sweet? Scrub it off. And what I like to use on my stamping scrub, alcohol. It works better than anything. Hand sanitizer works good. It cleans them completely. It also cleans the block completely. And if you use the alcohol, it dries almost instantly. So you don't have a wet stamp or a wet block. And it will take off StazOn. It'll take off archival. It'll take off dye base. It's just a wonderful tool. I keep, hang on, let me show you. I keep my stamping chamois in a Ziploc bag, and I keep it wet with alcohol, and it works great. See, I do use it. I do use it a lot. But I put it back in there, and if it's starting to get a little dry, I'll give him 2 or 3 squirts and zip him up, and he's ready to go for the next time. And since it's alcohol, there won't be no funky mold or anything in there. If I tried to do that with water or anything else, I would have a mess. Okay, let's finish this thing up. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. If you have something nasty to say, you're at the wrong site because it won't get posted. It'll be deleted immediately. I've had some issues with some people making bad comments, and you know, there's no sense in that. We're just trying to show some people how to have some fun at home. Okay, and there's my card. And you open it up, it says, wishing you the very best. You always have a way of making my day. And right now, while everybody's stuck at home, you know, these sending them email and text and these little text messages and all, it's nice, but there's nothing like getting a card in the mail. I love getting cards in the mail. Oh, gonna have to work on that stamp pad. Okay. I hope y'all have a wonderful time. I hope you learned something. Y'all have a wonderful day, and may God bless.